one? It's ready.
Okay. So if you could introduce yourselves, including where you're from, and then briefly describe your area of research and what's led you to the area, either together or something.
Start. Okay, I will start. I'm Laura Formenti. I teach at the University of Milano Bicocca. I teach social and general pedagogy, but especially family pedagogy in a framework of adult education. And I do research in the field of adult education in many different directions, on how in different contexts adult people learn, transform their frames of meaning, and develop and flourish. I would use this word. So it's a pedagogy of flourishing for the human being.
That's beautiful.
So I'll go next. I am Gaia del Negro. I did my PhD at Canterbury, Christchurch, but I now am back in Milan, where I collaborate with Laura and Silvia. And I am also in adult education, and I particularly look at knowing and knowledge and professional lives, mostly. So I look at professionals in the educational field, but in a wide sense. So from teachers to educators to therapists, different professions that have to do with learning and adult learning. And I like to look at ways to engage people personally through arts and expressive ways of knowing, because I think it breaks barriers to thinking critically.
So, thank you. I'm Silvia Luraschi. I did my PhD in the Department of Human Science in the University of Milano Bicocca, and my interest in research is about embodiment and reflexivity. I like to explore the role and the position of the body in the research. So during my PhD I explore autoethnography, and I also use autoethnography and ethnography with social worker and with women live together in a community for female and children. So I try to explore how body and help us to understand better our mind. And now I'm involved in a research with a social worker and migrants.
Okay, so based on all of your areas of research that you've mentioned, could you elaborate on how your sort of different perspectives really helped you to work together on this project, or any struggles that you faced? But it seems like they really would work well together. I would like to hear more.
Well, I think collaboration is very important. In this moment of my career, I really want to have other people around me and have a dialogical development of knowledge, not only my own stuff. So it's amazing that, and I need younger people, because when we started to talk to each other, I remembered my childhood and my adolescence. I was very, very aware that we live in different worlds. For them, we just talked about the difference generation. They are freer in a way to choose their own way, but it's not the case for all the people of your generation, I think. So there is a responsibility also. So we become critical, talking to each other. I talk about historical things, they ask me things, and they bring their own view. It's collaborative. And of course there may be struggles. Well, we didn't have many conflicts up to now. Struggles maybe more because we are aware that there are hidden stories and not everything really can be shared. It's impossible to share everything. Maybe some silenced stories, they need time to come out, it becomes an intimate relationship. And that was for the groups of feminists in the 70s in Italy, this intimate part was very important. Everybody in the group came to know each other quite deeply. And they were not only intellectuals, they were housewives, students, tenants, people from the unions, people from the university, all together doing actually a very similar kind of research. Maybe they called it in another way, but...
I was thinking, if I can add, I had this question 2 or 3 years ago. I remember thinking about, I think there is a strange moment now in research in relation to masters and younger people, let's say. People who have been in the profession for a longer time, they have had masters, or people who opened the way for them or taught them. And I think there is a bit of difficulty there now because also of how academia is organized and the uncertainty of that. Or maybe in general, there is a bit of a crisis of how you transmit knowledge. And I realize I'm very happy to experiment this sort of work and relationships because it's a way for me to find, again, a sort of relational way of working and growing. When the lineage is not so clear, you need to be inventive and go back to collaborating with different people. I'm the younger here, but reconstructing a sort of environment to be able to develop and to transmit knowledge. Yeah.
For me, working together helped me to share my authenticity. And this movement, because it's sort of movement to naked myself with other people, help and encourage me to try to find a creative position and a more open position with other people with different point of view of mind. And if I try to be authentic, and other people with very, very deep and different position of me is authentic, I don't understand, I can comprehend and try to live together.
That's awesome. So it sounds like you're combating the struggle of transmitting knowledge and breaking down those barriers through your personal and intimate relationship, like your collaborative working relationship. So I know, just briefly, because I know we have to get back in, but could you speak to how that relationship and that intimacy is going to lend to how you continue to share the research that comes out of this conference and out of what you're doing now? Like, how will that affect how you disseminate that research and share the knowledge you've gained?
I think it affects a lot because dissemination means that you create a context where everybody feel engaged and they can participate. And sometimes we talk of participation, but we are not able to create that context, which is, first of all, a safe relationship. And in a sense, we are a role model. It can be said like that. When Silvia and Gaia, or other people who are not here, because we are a larger group, but when they come to my classes or when we think together of doing a workshop together and we put ourselves into the situation, we tell something about ourselves and we ask other people to do that. Then what I see is that for me it is very valuable because I stop to be the professor immediately. I become maybe an older sister or an aunt. I use very often this idea. I am the aunt here. Don't treat me like a mother or like a grandmother. I'm the aunt. And it's very important to have this intergenerational exchange also. And sometimes when the students who are younger than them, they are also involved, I am so happy because you see maybe 3 generations of women talking to each other, having different experiences. So I value a lot our relationship.